Hello, welcome back to Vinyl Show and Tell. Hope everyone's doing okay, plenty of spinning and hunting and all that. So I've done another trip to Chichester. I say another trip, I've already done a Chichester video late last year. But last week it was my wife's birthday. She wanted to go there, so I was more than happy to oblige, because it gives me a chance to visit my two favourite record shops, Time Machine Records and Helter Skelter Records. So whilst my wife was off doing a bit of birthday shopping, I visited both shops, and we all know what the drill is here. I'm just going to show you what I bought. So I've got some footage for you. I did show footage in the last Chichester video, but not all of you may have seen it. If you're not familiar with Chichester in the south of the UK, it's a really lovely town. It's very picturesque. It's a really nice. I think it's a city. Yeah, it's a very nice historic city. It is a city because there's a cathedral there. But anyway, I've got some footage for you, and you know, to kick off, I'm sure you're all wondering what I had for breakfast that day. Record hunting needs a good breakfast. Right, here we are. Very busy. Down a road called the Hornet. Behind us is, I believe, West Street, and we just come up to the Hornet. So Helter Skelter Records not open yet. That opens at 11 on a Thursday for whatever reason, but that's the way it is. So we'll go to Time Machine Records first. If you haven't seen my last Chichester video, it's in a little place called the Armhouse Arcade, and I can see he's open because he is has a little sign outside, so that's great. There we go. So just in here,
Very honest stuff, so
and on the right.
it's very honest stuff. Anyway, I'm off over the road to see if I can't spend money there.
Okay, so we've got an interior shot of Time Machine Records here. So racks and racks and racks, bargain boxes here, rarities on the wall, merchandise, CDs, 7-inch singles, jazz and soul, American rock, punk and new wave, folk solo artists, prog for me, and then you've got a wall full of rarities. Original Caterpillar there, UK press. Bob Downs, original UK press. John Mayall, Pink Floyd, Yardbirds, it's all here. The just in box. And finally, our friendly owner Harry, give us a wave. There he is. Come here for all your records.
Keep collecting, guys.
Very successful trip to Time Machine. Right, I've got to get across this road over to Helter Skelter, and as per usual, lazy me, I don't walk back and use the crossing, so I'll stop the vid and get safely across somehow. Right, gap in the traffic, we've done it. Right, so here we go. Oh, brilliant, they're open. Out the back. And of course, to finish off, oh, glorious, of course. Okay, a nice day out. The sun was shining, it was very hot, but very nice. Nice cool beer at the end there, always good. So, just to show you what I've got, 6 albums, so not the hugest haul, but you know, quality over quantity and all that. It's all very good. So I've got 2 from Time Machine Records. First up is this. It's a band called Flash and a Pan, and the album's called Panorama. Now I had my eye on this recently when I did a shopping trip here in Portsmouth. This did crop up in one of the shops, and I kind of had my eye on it, but didn't buy it, and I regretted it because it looked very interesting. And lo and behold, it turned up in Time Machine. I don't know much about it. I've looked it up since. A bit of a blind buy, really. It's listed as a new wave record. The members were former members of the Easy Beats, who I believe were a late 60s band, New Zealand, Australia, possibly. Let me know in the comments. I should do more homework, shouldn't I? But this is actually a compilation of some of their earlier tracks. So it's by Flash in the Pan, Panorama. Looks like it's on a sort of independent label called Easy Beat. As I say, I know very little about this one. It just looked good and I just fancy picking it up. It's in lovely condition, so why on earth not? So that was a good one. Next up, we have got Roy Harper. His album from 1980 called The Unknown Soldier. I'm quite a big fan of Roy Harper, actually. I've got majority of the albums that led up to this one. I'm a big fan of Stormcock, Valentine, HQ, Life Mask. Brilliant albums. So I thought I'd get this one. This is a good price. This was £10. Comes with the original inner, lovely condition. And as Harry from Time Machine often does, he's included a press cutting, probably from Enemy or Melody Maker, maybe Sounds, of the tour of the time. So yeah, it's a nice little addition to put in. It's a funny thing with Roy Harper. I always look back to when I first heard about him. I'm sure most people may have first heard of him through Pink Floyd. He did vocals on Wish You Were Here, the track Have a Cigar. But Led Zeppelin on their third album named their final track after him. It's called Hats Off to Roy Harper. And that's when I first ever heard the name. After that, after getting into Led Zeppelin and sort of having that track but not really knowing who he was at the time, Roy Harper actually came and played a gig here in Portsmouth at a venue called the Wedgwood Rooms. I didn't go, I didn't know him, I was pretty young at the time. But all I can remember about it is that someone or an organisation posted posters everywhere, just all over the city. They were absolutely everywhere, these posters. They were proper sort of, like pasted on, like you saw, wallpapered. And I remember, at the time I lived down a kind of back street terrace road in Southsea in Portsmouth. And they were even posted down there. They were kind of posted on one of those green electrical boxes. It's just a funny memory I have of him. Later on, when I started collecting Harvest records, his name came up again and I was like, oh, there he is. So yeah, I got into him. And as I say, this is one I haven't got. It features quite a star-studded lineup. Dave Gilmour is on it. I think Kate Bush appears on it. And a long list of musicians that some I've heard of, some I haven't. I won't read them all out. But yeah, that's a really nice one to have. Great stuff. So as you saw, I then went across the road to Helter Skelter Records. Brilliant as always, absolutely great. Both shops are. So first up, I got this one. It is by Gillen. It's called Mr. Universe. Dodgy cover, dodgy cover. This is a slight upgrade copy. I've got quite a worn copy without the insert. Excuse the barking, my puppy's down here. We've got a new puppy called Rollo. So if you hear grunting and barking, that's who it is. I've got to keep an eye on him. Anyway, Gillen's Mr. Universe. I'm a big fan of Ian Gillen. I love Deep Purple. He really is one of the greatest frontmen ever. His voice is incredible. And I'm quite keen on Gillen. I've got a few other albums, but it was just £4 and I couldn't pass it up. It's in nice condition and better than the one I've got. So it's got the original inner, and it's on this little label called Acrobat. I don't know anything else on Acrobat. I don't think they released that much. So this is Gillen's debut album. He did have another band called the Ian Gillen Band, who are also quite good, but this one is much heavier than the Ian Gillan band. I would probably describe it in the sort of new wave of heavy metal kind of vein, ever so slightly proggy in places. It's a good album and it's easy to get. £4 was very, very good. You could easily get it for a £5, maybe a little bit more in some places. So yeah, definitely worth picking up. Now, got another Neil Young. I was really umming and erring over this one. It's a good price and the record itself is absolutely, it looks unplayed. It's a UK pressing on Geffen. It's called Neil and the Shocking Pinks Do Everybody's Rocking. It was only £8. It's not a release I really set out to get by him, but it was just there and in such good nick and a really good price. As I understand it, I haven't heard anything from it. It is a kind of rock and roll covers and parodies album that he did. Could be interesting. I really don't know what to expect. It might be good. Again, like Roy Harper, I've got a lot of Neil Young albums. I've got most of them leading up to this. I recently, I haven't bought any of him for some time, but there are a few gaps that I'd like to do, so I thought I'd give it a try. Why not, indeed? Oh, this was a good find. Look at this one. Status Quo, Dog of Two Head. So, this is an upgrade copy. Last year, we went to a trip, me and my wife and myself, sorry I should say, went to Oxford and I picked up a copy there. The copy in Oxford was priced ridiculously low and it was a very rough copy. I just bought it on the off chance that it might play okay and it really didn't. It didn't sound good at all, so I kind of didn't play it again. But here we have an absolutely pristine copy. It was only £8. Gatefold sleeve, and it is a first UK pressing on Pi. The record itself looks nigh on unplayed, apart from a tiny little scuff if I am being picky. You can even still see the flashing around the spindle hole. It really hasn't been played that much at all. I'm really pleased to get this because I'm really keen on the album that came before this called Mark Ellie's Greasy Spoon. It was the one before this on Pi, and it's in the period where they started getting, they started doing their bluesy, heavier shuffle, the typical Status Quo sound. This is after the kind of psychedelia of Matchstick Men, Ice in the Sun and that lot, which I do quite like. But you don't see this too often. Their albums on Vertigo, you can get them for a £5 or less. These ones are always a little bit pricier, but £8 for this is still very, very good indeed, because it is a little bit more scarce than their later albums. So yeah, very pleased to have that. That is a great buy. And finally, yeah, chuffed to get this. Peter Gabriel, self-titled album, but the fourth one. It's commonly known as number 4 and sometimes known as Security, although I can't quite tell why. Is that a security camera? I don't really know what it is we're looking at here. I don't know what that is. But if you're a watcher of my previous videos, I've been collecting a bit of Peter Gabriel of late. I've now got the first 4 albums, which is brilliant. I've really been enjoying his debut lately. It's absolutely stunning. That's the one known as Car. But this one, it's not a difficult one to find. £6, very, very reasonable indeed. Original insert, UK first pressing on Charisma. It's got the nice custom labels. And it is in lovely, lovely condition. So chuffed to get that. So there it is, just six to show you. I should say it's fine, lovely. That's a great haul, perfect. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Chichester is a lovely place to visit. It really is, and those 2 shops are fantastic. They are brilliant. Always very welcoming. Great prices. If it wasn't good prices, I wouldn't visit them. And everything sold in there, unless it's marked down considerably, which is rare, is always in tip-top condition. You saw the interior of Time Machine there. Harry's a great bloke, always very welcoming. It's always good to go in there and have a good chat with him. So I would highly, highly recommend it. I think if I do a future video, I'll try and get an interior shot of Helter, Skelter records. Oh, someone's crying in their basket down there. Little thing. He's been very good today. It's been very good. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, what more can I say? Yeah, get to Chichester if you're in the south of England. It's just a nice place to visit in general. Lots of lovely pubs and bars. Lots of good shops. Anyway, it's a picturesque place. So anyway, that's all from me. If you fancy subscribing, please do. But yeah, I'll see you in a future video. There's plenty more to come. So take care and thanks for watching.